Berlin, 1942. An Indian man walks into Hitler's Reich Chancellery. He wears a dark suit. His eyes burn with determination. He has traveled halfway across the world for one purpose: to ask the Nazi dictator for help. Help to free India from British rule. His name was Subhash Chandra Bose. In India, millions call him Netaji, the respected leader. He is celebrated as one of the greatest freedom fighters in history. But in the West, he is often called a Nazi collaborator, a man who shook hands with Hitler, Mussolini, and Tojo. So which is he? A hero or a traitor? The answer is far more complicated than you might think. Cuttack, India, January 23, 1897. Subhash Chandra Bose was born into a wealthy Bengali family. His father was a successful lawyer, his mother deeply religious. He was the ninth of 14 children. From childhood, young Subhash showed exceptional brilliance. He devoured books on Indian history and philosophy. The teachings of Swami Vivekananda transformed his worldview. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. These words became the foundation of his life. At school, Subhash was a star student, but an incident would change everything. In 1916, he assaulted a British professor who insulted Indians. He was expelled from Presidency College, but to young nationalists, he became a hero overnight. Subhash's father wanted him to join the elite Indian civil service. The ICS was the highest achievement for any Indian under British rule. Reluctantly, Subhash traveled to England. He passed the ICS examination with distinction. He ranked 4th among all candidates in the British Empire. A life of privilege and power awaited him. But Subhash could not serve the empire that oppressed his people. In April 1921, he made a shocking decision. He resigned from the ICS. His father was devastated, his family confused, but Subhash had chosen a different path. He returned to India to fight for freedom. He joined the Indian National Congress. He worked alongside Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru. But Subhash was different from them. Gandhi believed in nonviolence and patience. Subhash believed in action and urgency. He wanted complete independence, not dominion status. He wanted India to be modern, industrial, and powerful. This fundamental disagreement would define his future. In 1938, Subhash was elected president of the Congress. He was re-elected in 1939, defeating Gandhi's candidate. But Gandhi's followers made it impossible for him to govern. Subhash was forced to resign. Betrayed by his own party, he formed the Forward Bloc, a new movement dedicated to complete independence. But the British saw him as a threat. In 1940, they placed him under house arrest in Calcutta. January 1941. A moonlit night in Calcutta. Subhash Chandra Bose was about to attempt the impossible. Disguised as a Muslim insurance agent named Muhammad Ziauddin, he slipped out of his family home at midnight. His destination? Nazi Germany. The journey was perilous beyond imagination. From Calcutta to Peshawar by train, across the Afghan border with forged documents, through Kabul, where he contacted German and Italian embassies, then to Moscow, traveling as Orlando Mazzata, and finally to Berlin. April 1941, Subhash arrived in the heart of Nazi Germany. The war was raging across Europe. Britain was fighting for survival. Subhash saw an opportunity. The enemy of my enemy, he reasoned, could be my ally. He established the Free India Center in Berlin. He launched Azad Hind Radio, broadcasting to India. He recruited Indian prisoners of war captured in North Africa. 3,000 men joined his Free India Legion. But the Nazis were not easy partners. Hitler had written in Mein Kampf that he preferred British rule in India. He called Indian freedom fighters Asiatic jugglers. Subhash was outraged. He demanded Hitler retract these words. May 29, 1942. The meeting that would define history. Subhash Chandra Bose stood face to face with Adolf Hitler. Hitler lectured about the Soviet threat, about German superiority. Subhash listened, then spoke his mind. He demanded a declaration of Indian independence. Hitler refused. Subhash left the meeting disillusioned. He later told friends, "Hitler is raving mad." He realized the Nazis would never truly support Indian freedom. They only wanted to use him as a propaganda tool. But Subhash was not finished. If Germany would not help him, perhaps Japan would. In February 1943, he made an extraordinary journey. He boarded a German U-boat in the Atlantic. For 3 months, he traveled underwater around Africa. Near Madagascar, he transferred to a Japanese submarine. It was the only civilian transfer between submarines in World War II. July 1943, Singapore. Subhash Chandra Bose arrived in Japanese-occupied Southeast Asia. Here, everything changed. In Singapore, Subhash found what Germany could not offer. Tens of thousands of Indian soldiers captured by Japan. They had fought for the British. Now they were prisoners. Rash Behari Bose, an older revolutionary, had begun organizing them. But the movement needed a charismatic leader. It needed Netaji. On July 4, 1943, Subhash took command of the Indian National Army, the Azad Hind Fauj, the Army of Free India. "Give me blood, and I shall give you freedom." These words electrified the Indian diaspora across Asia. Within months, the INA grew to over 40,000 soldiers. Men and women from Malaya, Singapore, Burma, and beyond. They donated their savings, their jewelry, their lives. On October 21, 1943, Subhash declared the Provisional Government of Free India. The Azad Hind government had its own currency, stamps, and courts. It was recognized by Japan, Germany, Italy, and 6 other nations. Subhash was now both head of state and supreme commander. The INA also created something unprecedented: the Rani of Jhansi Regiment, an all-female combat unit led by Captain Lakshmi Sahgal, one of the first women's military units in Asian history. March 1944. The moment of destiny arrived. The INA crossed from Burma into India. Their target, Imphal and Kohima in northeastern India. Subhash believed once they set foot on Indian soil, the entire nation would rise up against the British. On April 14, 1944, the INA flag was raised at Moirang, Manipur. For the first time, Indian soldiers stood on Indian soil fighting against the British Empire. Subhash addressed Gandhi by radio. "Father of the nation, India's last war of independence has begun." But the dream would soon become a nightmare. The British were better equipped, better supplied. The monsoon rains turned roads into rivers of mud. Supply lines collapsed. Food ran out. Soldiers began dying of malaria, dysentery, and starvation. The sieges of Imphal and Kohima dragged on for months. By June 1944, the offensive had failed. The retreat was catastrophic. Of 16,000 INA soldiers who entered Burma, less than 2,000 survived. 9 out of 10 were dead, captured, or missing. The dream of liberating India through armed struggle was over. But Subhash refused to give up. Even as Japan's empire crumbled, he searched for new allies. August 15, 1945, Japan surrendered. World War II was over. Subhash Chandra Bose had lost everything: his army, his government, his hope. But he had one last plan. He would travel to the Soviet Union. Perhaps Stalin would support Indian independence. August 18, 1945. Subhash boarded a Japanese bomber in Saigon. The plane took off for Manchuria. What happened next remains one of history's greatest mysteries. According to official accounts, the plane crashed in Taipei. Subhash Chandra Bose died from severe burns. He was 48 years old. But millions of Indians refused to believe it. Conspiracy theories spread like wildfire. Some said he escaped to the Soviet Union. Others claimed he lived as a holy man in India for decades. The Indian government launched multiple investigations. None could definitively prove what happened that day. The mystery of Netaji's death remains unsolved. Back in India, the legacy of the INA transformed the nation. The British put captured INA officers on trial at the Red Fort. Shah Nawaz Khan, Prem Kumar Sahgal, Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon. They faced charges of treason. The punishment? Death. But the trials backfired spectacularly. Millions protested across India. Jawaharlal Nehru himself appeared as a defense lawyer. The accused became national heroes. In February 1946, the Royal Indian Navy mutinied. Sailors raised the INA flag and demanded independence. The British finally understood. They could no longer hold India. August 15, 1947. India became independent. Subhash Chandra Bose did not live to see it, but many historians argue his struggle made it inevitable. Today, Netaji remains one of India's most beloved figures. His image appears on stamps, coins, and monuments. The Kolkata airport bears his name. Every January 23rd, India celebrates Parakram Divas in his honor. But the controversy has never disappeared. Was he a hero who did whatever it took to free his nation? Or was he a man who made an unforgivable bargain with evil? He shook hands with Hitler. He allied with Imperial Japan. Both regimes committed horrific atrocities. Yet Subhash himself was no fascist. He championed women's rights and religious equality. He condemned communalism and caste discrimination. He envisioned an India that was socialist and democratic. His closest German collaborator was Adam von Trott-Zusolz, who later tried to assassinate Hitler in 1944. Subhash told friends, "British imperialism can be just as intolerable as Nazism." He saw both as enemies of human freedom. Perhaps the truth is that history rarely offers clean choices. Subhash Chandra Bose faced an impossible dilemma. How far would you go to free 400 million people from colonial rule? Would you shake hands with the devil himself? These questions have no easy answers. What remains is a man who sacrificed everything for his country: his wealth, his career, his family, his life. One individual may die for an idea, but that idea will, after his death, incarnate itself in 1,000 lives. Those were his words. And perhaps that is his truest legacy. Not the alliances he made, but the fire he lit in the hearts of millions. A fire that burns to this day. We look at Netaji through the lens of history, and history gazes back at us, asking, what would you have done?